Hey there, folks. I've been doing a lot of reading lately, a lot of thinking about how we can take better care of ourselves? And I got to thinking about a question that's been on my mind, a question I bet a lot of you have thought about too. Have you ever felt that strange little ache in your leg, or maybe that tingly sensation that just doesn't feel right? That little worry, that whisper in the back of your mind about your circulation? It's not something we talk about at the dinner table, but it's a big part of getting older, isn't it? I know for me, it sure has been. It's funny. You spend your whole life working hard, raising a family, and then you get to a point where your body starts sending you little signals, little reminders to pay attention. Well, I decided to listen. And what I found, what I learned from some smart folks, I just had to share it with all of you. This isn't about some miracle cure or magic potion. Not at all. It's about some simple everyday fruits, the kind you can find at any grocery store, really. But what they can do for your body, man, it's amazing. My wife, bless her heart, was a bit skeptical at first. She figured it was just another one of those fads you see online. But I told her, honey, just listen for a minute. And when she heard what I had to say and when we started to notice the difference ourselves, well, she was a believer. I'm going to share some things with you that you might have never heard before, but I got to ask you to stick with me. This is one of those times where the journey is just as important as the destination. You really want to know the why behind it all, not just the what. So take your time. You'll be glad you did. Now, before we get too deep into this, I need to make one thing perfectly clear. I'm just a guy from up north sharing what I've learned. You know, I'm not a doctor, not even close. So if you're thinking about making any big changes to your diet or if you have any serious health concerns, please, please talk to your own doctor first. They know what's best for your individual situation. But if you're just curious, if you want to know about some natural ways to help your body feel better, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're here and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's coming up next. I'm excited to tell you about some of these things. Some of them just might surprise you. I remember the first one I found out about, pineapple. It's more than just a sweet, tangy fruit you put on a pizza. I was watching one of those health shows on the TV, and they had a doctor on there talking about an enzyme in pineapple called bromelain. He said this stuff, it's almost like it breaks down a protein in your blood called fibrin, which is what holds blood clots together. It helps to thin the blood, and even better, it helps reduce swelling. It's not just some old wives' tale either. I was reading a study from the International Journal of Molecular Sciences that backed this up, saying bromelain can actually reduce something called platelet aggregation, which is the very first step in a blood clot forming. So I started having a slice of pineapple with my breakfast. The doctor on the show said the core is where most of that good stuff is, so I make sure to eat a little bit of that too. It's a little tough, sure, but man, you get used to it. And now every time I have some, I can almost feel my circulation improving. It's a small change, but it feels so good. I'm telling you, the little things, they really add up. And then I read about pomegranate. Now, my grandson, he loves the juice, but I always thought it was just a fad. Turns out it's one of the best things you can have for your heart. It's got these crazy powerful antioxidants called punicalagins. The research I saw from a study on atherosclerosis showed that drinking pomegranate juice daily for just 3 months could reduce the thickness of arterial plaque by a whopping 35%. Can you believe that? 35%. It's all about fighting inflammation and keeping your arteries from getting clogged up. My wife and I started mixing some fresh pomegranate seeds into our salad at lunch. We found that the flavor is just so bright and it's so easy to do. It's one of those things where you feel like you're doing something good for your body without really trying. We just have a small bowl, maybe a handful of seeds each day, and it's become part of our routine. It's truly a crimson elixir, as one article put it. Next, I found out about the humble apple. Yep, the one you can get anywhere. I always heard that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but I never really knew why. Turns out it's a lot more than just a little snack. The key is in the pectin. that soluble fiber you find in the skin. Pectin helps lower that bad LDL cholesterol that clogs up your arteries. But there's more. Apples also contain something called quercetin, which is a powerful antioxidant. I read in a study that quercetin can actually make your blood less viscous, thinner, so it flows more easily. I've always just grabbed an apple on my way out the door, but now I make sure I eat the skin, which is where most of that good stuff is. And I've noticed a difference. My joints just feel a little looser, a little less stiff. It's crazy what a simple little thing can do. Then there's avocado. For a long time, people thought all fat was bad, but avocados are full of these healthy monounsaturated fats. My daughter-in-law, she's a real health nut. She got me into them. She said they're a lifesaver for your heart. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I read an article from the American Heart Association that said eating avocados 3 times a week could reduce heart disease risk by 22%. It blew my mind. She told me a little trick. That dark green layer just under the skin, it has 3 times more antioxidants than the rest of the pulp. So now, when I make avocado toast in the morning, I always make sure to scrape that part out. It feels like I'm getting more bang for my buck. And it's a simple little thing to remember. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's a good fat, and it feels good to be eating something that's so great for you. And you can't talk about good circulation without talking about kiwi. Now, I was reading an article from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, and it said something incredible. It said that just eating 2 kiwis a day for 28 days could lower a person's blood viscosity by 18%. That's a huge number, isn't it? It just goes to show you that these little fruits, they pack a huge punch. Kiwi has an enzyme called actinidin that works a lot like the one in pineapple, helping to break down blood clots. And my favorite way to have them is on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning. It just feels like I'm getting a fresh start. It's a habit that's just so easy to start, and you can really feel the difference. I find myself feeling more energized throughout the day, and I think this has a lot to do with it. If you've never tried them, you got to give them a shot. And finally, grapes. I always loved them, especially the purple ones, but I never knew why they were so good for you. Turns out the magic is in the skin. I read that the skin is where all the resveratrol is, that powerful antioxidant that prevents platelets from clumping together. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that drinking purple grape juice every day for 2 weeks could reduce clot risk by a stunning 75%. That number is just wow. So now I make sure to eat the skin, and when I have a bowl of grapes, I don't just eat them. I really savor them. And my wife, she's gotten into a new habit of freezing them for a crisp little snack. It's delicious and it makes a great habit to have. It's incredible to think that something so simple can have such a big effect. These are just a few of the things I've learned. There's so much more to it. After learning about all these amazing fruits, it really made me think about the big picture. It's not just about what we eat, but it's about making a conscious choice every single day. I remember my father always telling me, son, you got to be kind to your body. It's the only one you've got. And he was right. I've noticed a real difference since I started incorporating these things into my life. I feel lighter, more energized. My wife says I've been sleeping better too. And I think it all comes back to this. It's not just about the fruits themselves, it's about the habit. It's about building a solid foundation for your health, one small, delicious choice at a time. And the best part, it's all so natural. You're not relying on complicated pills or prescriptions. You're just embracing nature's gifts. Now, a lot of people might wonder, is this all I need to do? And the answer is no, not at all. This isn't a substitute for professional medical care. If you have a serious condition, if you're on medication, or if you've had a history of blood clots, you absolutely must follow your doctor's advice. Think of this as a powerful addition to your health routine, not a replacement. The biggest pro here is that these fruits are affordable and accessible. You can find them anywhere. And the con? Well, there really isn't one, is there? The worst that can happen is you get a healthy dose of vitamins and fiber. But the truth is, a lot of these benefits come from a specific combination of nutrients. And when you combine them, the effects can be even stronger. I found that having a fruit smoothie in the morning with a little pineapple, a few grapes, and a handful of berries, man, it just feels like a circulatory elixir. It's a simple, delicious way to start the day. My wife's friend Carol told me she had been struggling with leg cramps and fatigue. I told her about what I learned, and she started trying it out, just a little bit at a time. A few months later, she called me up and said she felt like she had her legs back. She's been going on walks with her husband again, something she hadn't been able to do in months. Um, it's those little stories, those little victories that really make all this research and effort worth it. It's about being proactive. It's about not waiting for a problem to arise. My father was right. You have to take care of your body. And the beautiful thing about this is you have the power to do it right now, today. You can make a choice that will change your health for the better. So here's my advice to you. Start small. Pick one fruit from the list, one that you like, and try to have it once a day for a week. Maybe a few slices of kiwi on an empty stomach in the morning, or an apple with the skin on as a snack. You don't have to overhaul your whole life in one day. But once you start and once you feel the difference, I promise you, you won't want to stop. Your body will thank you for it, and your mind will feel so much calmer knowing you're doing something good for yourself. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So go ahead, give it a shot. You'll be glad you did.